John Hennigan, AKA John Morrison, AKA Johnny Nitro, AKA Johnny Impact, AKA Johnny whatever the fuck you want to call him, was on the MMA Hour with our homeboy Ariel Helwani, talking about his big pro boxing fight. You know, earlier in the podcast, in a different clip, we talked about the Joe Rogan podcast, where he talked about all the different pro wrestlers who have crossed over into the world of mixed martial arts. And let's not forget about the world of boxing and who's jumped over. And John Morrison certainly has taken that leap along with Bart Gunn, right? John Morrison and Bart Gunn. That would be a good fight to see. But Morrison hopped over. There's apparently a creator clash. I had heard about this previously, as I am a big Epic Mealtime fan. Epic Mealtime, one of the OG shows on YouTube. If you are not familiar with Epic Mealtime, check out this clip.
From now on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No nuggets, no onion rings, no nothing. A cheeseburger gets sold in the park. I want it. You got fat, but we starved on the streets. Now it's my turn.
Ripping off strips of that bacon-ish. Tray by the tray all day. Onions and bacon for that custard sour.
And look, that may seem silly by today's standards when we got a world full of Mr. Beasts and Matt Pats and stuff like that. But I have to tell you, man, Epic Mealtime in its day was the fucking show to watch. They just made the fattest, grossest, most disgusting fast food, junk food, trash food fucking amazingness, right? Pizzas, burgers, all that shit. And Harley Mortenstein was the host. That's that big guy there. He was the front man, and he'd always reference pro wrestling. And he's always did his videos in the style of a pro wrestling promo, as you clearly saw right there. Heavily influenced by pro wrestling. So at the first Creator Clash, or I don't know if it was the first, but the previous Creator Clash, Harley Mortenstein had a pro boxing fight, and he fucking won. And I was rooting for him. I was like, woo, Harley, because I fucking love Harley Mortenstein and Epic Mealtime. Highly recommend you go check out some of those videos, by the way. That was just a small little clip it, man. Watch a full video. But then things got interesting when I heard that the next fight was going to be John Morrison. Now, I do not like John Morrison. I would go as far as to say I'd hate John Morrison. If I had like a top 5 list of guys I hate in professional wrestling, John Morrison's on that fucking list. Right along with like Brian Cage, right? And fucking used to be Jeff Jarrett, but he's slowly creeping up on me now for some reason. I don't know. Well, it's a conversation for another day. But Harley Mortenstein versus John Morrison, I was actually Team Mortenstein. I'm like, I hope you fucking beat Morrison's ass. And I know as a pro wrestling fan, I should be Team John Morrison. I get that. But when you put him up against Epic Mealtime, you got to go Epic Mealtime. But at least that's just me. But unfortunately, that's not the way it went. As John Morrison beat the shit out of Harley Mortenstein and won his pro boxing debut. Check out these clips. And look, this was theatrical. And if you didn't believe me that Harley was a wrestling fan, check out his entrance. Then you're going to check out Johnny's entrance. Then you're going to see a clip of the fight. And then we're going to get into a clip of John Morrison talking about the big win with Ariel Helwani. Check out all these clips, and we will catch you on the backside.
Well, I was looking to the entrance ramp, gentlemen, but I don't see Harley up there. Wait.
Oh, he might have run away scared.
Hold on, what? Oh, it's Harley's in the crowd. Oh my goodness. Harley Harley is in the crowd looking like a Shield member or Solid Snake. I don't know. Charlie, what is going on here?
I'm not quite sure. This is just a psychopath out there.
The man of the people making his way in. The Sauce Boss is headed to the ring. Tony, what is this entrance?
This is fantastic. Look at the crowds going wild. I love this.
An absolute star, folks.
Walking straight onto that right hand.
And again, you keep seeing this.
Oh!
Huge right hand, and that's it. Referee waves it off. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Right hand from John Hennigan, and the mayor of Slamtown has just staked his claim as the mayor of Creator Clash. What a shot. My goodness, that was heavy, Tony.
It was.
And then I went to Creator Clash 1, was in his corner, and was blown away by the people and the electricity in the building. And I think that after Creator Clash 1, when Harley knocked out Aaron, they were looking for someone to fight Harley for Creator Clash 2, and they ended up asking me because I'd met everybody, and I guess I didn't mess it up.
Yeah, no, it worked out well. Did you say yes right away, or did you ponder if this was the right thing for you?
Okay, so to be honest, I said no because I know two people in the YouTube space. I know Nathan and Harley. Harley and I go way back. He interviewed me for Underground. I considered us friends. So I said, I'd love to fight someone. Like I want to fight someone that I don't know or not my friend. And then they told me that Harley said that he would fight me.
Wow.
At which point I said, okay, fine. Well, I'll fight him then.
Did you hit him up?
Harley later told me that he didn't say that.
Oh.
We just got kind of like pitted against each other.
Wow. That was sneaky on their part.
It was well played, very promoter-esque.
Okay, when you found out that he said yes, quote unquote said yes, did you hit him up and say like, man, I thought we were friends. Why do you want to fight me?
Although he texted me when I said, I don't know if I want to fight you, he texted me back and he just wrote, I don't know, this might be too epic.
Interesting.
And when he said that and I called them, I was like, well, if he's fine with fighting me, then I'm fine with fighting him. I am going to box. I'm going to train, and I'm not planning on losing. I'm planning on knocking someone out. And if he's okay with that, then okay.
How long did you train for this?
About 4 months.
What an ending. You knock him out. First, you knocked him down. He fell out of the ring. He rolled out. Then you knocked him out cold in the third round. Were you expecting that?
To knock him out of the ring?
No. just to stop him. Like, did you think you would knock him out, or did you think this would go the distance?
I thought I would knock him out. That's what I was planning on. I don't know if you saw the fight. I feel like I clearly started. I started okay, but then I just started swinging way too fast and started kind of blowing up a little bit and having to focus on my breathing. Boxing's hard.
Yeah.
I think one of the key things that Josh had me do a great deal of was sparring. And the people that I sparred with, like, just beat the crap out of me. Liver shots, head shots, knocked me down, knocked me out once or twice.
Wow.
But like I feel like, and according to Josh too, like that's kind of, if you go into a fight without having that experience, you don't want to get hit that hard for the first time in the fight.
Yeah.
Let me leave you with this, like
okay.
Something to think. Triple H, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. On Saturday, I did something that none of them could ever do. Let's win a real fight. Suckers.
So look, I gotta be honest, with all that said up front about me not being the biggest John Morrison fan, this was probably a pretty good interview. This was the least douchiest I've ever heard John Morrison be. He can be quite a douchebag. And as you've seen towards the end there, he did get a little douchebaggy, taking his shots at CM Punk and Triple H and Roman Reigns. He had to throw that a little bit in there and just kind of fucking twist the knife and fuck with people a little bit. And it makes me wonder if him being a complete and total utter douchebag in a lot of interviews stems from maybe him just trying to be in character as a complete total douchebag. Because he kind of slipped into it there, but I felt like he wasn't as much throughout the rest of the interview. And look, this is good for pro wrestling. Anytime wrestlers can get in there and win real fights, even though it's against a fucking YouTuber, it's still a big deal. And now he's calling out a real boxer. He called out KSI. That was the Blue Prime bottle. So it's going to be fucking Johnny Impact versus Blue Prime bottle at the next Creator Clash. I wonder if he'll wear the Prime bottle suit while he's boxing Johnny. I don't know. Look, John Morrison, like I said, I'm not a huge fan, but this was a nice little interview. And look, it made me happier to hear that he was friends with Harley too, and that he had a respect for Harley, that I didn't have to pick sides. That it sucks there was a fight and one of them had to lose so badly and Harley had to get smashed so badly. But at least he's got a friendship with John, and it's all good. They're all buddies. And look, they kind of got worked into this fight to begin with. The promoters were kind of like, "Oh no, he wants to fight you," when he just said, "No, I don't want to fight him." And he said the same thing to the other guy. Just fucking push him in there and get him to fight. But it's good for wrestling. And yeah, technically, I guess he did win a real fight, when none of those other people did. That's still a douchebag thing to say and a little bit of a cheap shot. He's still in my top 5 list, but maybe closer to the bottom. I don't know. It was a nice little interview, though, so respect where respect is due, and respect for winning the fight. I'm not going to sit here and just bury Morrison because I don't like him. I am a podcast journalist, and it is my job to call it as I see it. And as I see it, John Morrison is doing good for the industry, keeping his name out there, keeping the buzz about him, staying in the public eye. Like, being in an Ariel Helwani interview is not a small feat. Look at all the top guys that Ariel Helwani has interviewed lately. And he got a half-hour fucking segment with Ariel Helwani, John Morrison. And that's something to be proud of. He's keeping his name out there, and that's going to up his value. And we heard, in this interview, as a matter of fact, he talked about that he would be open to going back to AEW or WWE if the offer was right and it made sense and they had a good plan for him. Which sounds like, like he kind of makes it sound like he's got the upper hand. Like, well, I guess if it's up to my standards. I don't know. I maybe getting a little too big for his britches, right? It was a fucking reality show, YouTuber boxing event, okay? Don't get too carried away. A lot of people in his entrance. That was fun to see, and that's another thing that makes this good for wrestling. Taya was there. AEW contracted talent there with WWE contracted talent. Jack Swagger was there. Jake Hager, AEW contracted talent. There with WWE contracted talent. Fucking LA Knight was in the house. He was there for this. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there. Oh, a couple other people I thought I recognized too. And Josh Barnett was there as coach. It was a good little team too. Morrison was right. He picked Josh Barnett to be his coach, and he did kind of explain in this interview why he chose Josh Barnett, and he was smart to do so. So just that Josh kind of understands what pro wrestling is and knows John's strengths and weaknesses and can kind of coach him properly in that direction. So good little interview. Props to John Morrison. Nothing much else to say about it. Still kind of think he's a douchebag, but hey, man, got to call it down the middle. Hey, thanks for checking out that clip. Don't forget to check out other clips here on the channel. And while you're there, throw a like, throw a subscribe. And don't forget to check out full episodes each and every Sunday of the Pro Wrestling Podcast.